let's have a look at something interesting in the EDC range. I was contacted by knivesandtools.com again, and my main man Jasper there said I should send you something that you know, it's a nice EDC option, knife wise. So I said, go ahead. You sent me this Kershaw, a nice brand. It's been around for a bit and proudly made in the USA. It says, has a little box, some paperwork in there, and knife, how to disassemble it and all that. Yeah, nice, and it's not extremely colorful, but it is nicely illustrated. I think that's it, yeah. And then there is, of course, the knife. The knife is interesting. I have played around with it quite a bit, because, especially with a knife, you really want to use it a lot to get comfortable, find its pros and cons, I think. So, here you go. It's the Knockout, and it's not just any Knockout. It is the Knockout 1870, and has some nice things going for it. Okay, it has an aluminum body, and it, I think one of its more interesting selling points is that it can be opened single-handedly, but unlike some knives where you have to just sort of push, it is an assisted opening knife, and that means that you can just push this here and it will just pop out. Now, that's not legal in every country, so before you rush out and get one, make sure you know that you can actually get one, because otherwise you can get into trouble. But of course this has a lot of advantages for a lot of different professions where you may not have both hands available, but you quickly need a knife, and you can easily do that. So that's very nice. And one other thing, you know, we can talk a bit about the blade. It says Kershaw, it says Speed Safe USA, it says 1870, Kai patented, made in USA on the other side. What you may notice is that it's a very large blade. It's wide, it's not ultra thick, but it's not a super skinny blade, and it has a nice shape, has a nice, let me just make sure I'm really holding that there, it has a nice sleek design to it. It's not very thick, and I like that. It has a sort of frame lock. You see that there? So to put the knife back in, you push that out, and then you can just fold it back in. And it has thumb studs on both sides, which you could also use to sort of push, and that will the knife will spring out as well. But of course, the easiest way is just to use that. Then there is a clip, a pocket clip, and you can see it goes up, I think you can see at least, it goes up quite far, quite highly, so you can carry this in a pocket, slip it in, clip it in place, and you won't really see it, it won't really stick out. So I think I had it in about that bit, that's what sticks out, so you can hardly see it. I'm not talking about concealed carrying, it's just that it's convenient because you don't have a giant thing sticking out of your pocket. Okay, well, what are my impressions of the knife? By the way, before I forget, that clip you can unscrew and you can put it on the other side if you're a left-handed user, which is also nice. Of course, if you are a left-handed user, these grooves on the grip are only on that side, they're not present on the other side, so it will be a slightly different feeling, but it is what it is. At least you can switch around the clip. What were my first impressions? Well, first impressions were, that's a serious action that really works. That means you have to grab a good hold of the knife, because if you hold this loosely between two fingers and you push this flies out with such speed that you can actually send the knife spinning, leading to all kinds of dangerous situations. It sounds a bit comical, but I'm serious. It's really quite a kick, because it's a big chunk of metal that suddenly accelerates. Okay, so we have that. The grip is comfortable. I don't have the world's smallest hands, but you have a nice finger groove here, and then the rest of your fingers fit there, and it fits. It fits comfortably. For me, it could probably be just a little bit bigger, but it's comfortable. It's really nice and comfortable. I also like the shape of the blade itself, nicely curved. I could see people using this for skinning type stuff, but it's a bit short, but okay. that might actually work. I like that it's a little thinner there, so it's you know, you save at least a little bit of weight there. And finally, you can also use this in a reverse grip. That may be useful for some people. Some people would like to have that for a self-defense purpose. In some professions, your thumb fits comfortably there, so that's one option. For boning, that may also work if you do that. So that is possible. It does work with a reverse grip. So that's nice. Having said all of that, I had two major issues. Those are the things I don't like so much about the knife. One is that there is no safety mechanism on this. So push this and the knife will fly out. To the extent that it even says in the little manual to not put this on a belt. If you just put this on a belt and this accidentally opens up, you can see the potential hazards there. So that's one issue. My other issue was that the knife was delivered at a basic level of sharpness, but by no means was it razor sharp or super sharp or extremely sharp, anything I would expect out of a super sharp knife. So we should do a bit of a test. This is just something I had from fountain pen reviews, nothing fancy on it, but I have been using it, so that's for sure. That may have dulled it a little bit, but even out of the box, it's not at all bad. You see it cuts paper. You can even kind of make that curve a bit. Definitely not terrible, but it won't take the hair, fortunately, off your arms. So don't expect a razor blade. Now, I think we should cut a couple of other things. I'll do that in a sec. And that's it. Okay, so let's see what we can do. I had already shown it, but I guess just because I'm doing cutting stuff. Paper, not bad. I mean, it clearly cuts. So I wouldn't complain too much. But out of the box, I have seen sharper knives. What else could you cut? A bit of duct tape. Nice thing is it has a pretty nice tip, so you can see that's no issue. Actually hit the wood there, but that's alright. Just putting that between two fingers. You see there's no issue there. So in that regard, it penetrates fairly well, and it's sharp enough, I would say. Okay, what else can you cut? I have some of this material, seat belt material. It's always a little difficult to hold, but I'm going to do my best. Right, you see that it struggles a bit there. I mean, this is definitely not the world's cleanest cuts. As I said, it is a bit hard to keep that taut, but penetration wise as well, to try and stab that in. It's not that easy. So there you see it's not exactly a razor. What else could you cut? Well, this is going to be odd, but I happen to have this old tank top. It doesn't fit me anymore. No, it's just it's broken, so I thought we might as well give that a go. So you have some textile. Let's say it's a tactical situation where you need to cut through someone's tank top. That sounds really, really obscene. I didn't mean that. That's in an emergency. That's a good point. It will go through, and it has no issues with a textile. So that's nice. And of course, the most important thing that any knife has to be able to do is take care of an emergency cupcake. And as you can see, it cuts through that cleanly, even through the paper. No issues whatsoever in that regard. I think it's really, really nice. And if you don't want to eat it, you can always get it out of the way like that. Okay. Thanks a lot to Jasper for sending me this knife. I really appreciate it. I think it's a very nice piece. Definitely worth it for everyday carry, I would say. May have to sharpen it a little bit yourself, but that's part of the fun. I hope this was useful, and I'll gladly see you later. Bye bye.